What's up, guys? On the fly, the final score. Back again. It has been a a long weekend, guys. That's all I can say. I mean, it's between it's work and oh gosh, and I'm getting old. Tomorrow will be my last week. Start my last week in the 40s, October 16th. I will turn 50 years old. Yeah, it's hard for me to believe. But yeah, I'm getting old. What about the NFL today? It was a wild day in the NFL. A lot of there was some upsets, some crazy games. Uh, you know, you had the game in London this morning. Are the Jaguars just going to become, their home field going to be in London now? Um, Maybe they need to be. They pulled a big upset over Buffalo. We're gonna start a we're gonna start a new segment on the show called, and I know the guys on my football team will love this, called "What Happened." We're gonna start a new segment on the show. Lamar Jackson's dog, Lamar Jackson. What happened? Yeah. What's up, Dave? Hey, look, the Jaguars get the big upset over the Bills, 25-20. After the Bills looked unstoppable the last 3 weeks. Um, but yeah, it was surprising to me. You see my dog in the background. Um, yeah, it surprised me. I thought Buffalo would win that. And what about okay? Let's before I get to other things like the Baltimore game. What about New England? What does Bill Belichick do? Another pick six by Mac Jones. He throws another pick six. I think he's thrown more this year than Tom Brady ever did in his whole career. Um, does Belichick? There's a lot of rumors going around, guys, that Belichick's going to retire after this year. And I think if it keeps up like this, I think it's going to happen. I don't think he'll get fired. I don't think Robert Kraft will fire Belichick, but I think it's gonna be like, okay, you can retire. We're going to give you that option to retire, and you need to take it. So we'll see. But I think it'd be good. They get pummeled today, 34 to was it 34 nothing? I thought it was 34-3. But they've been outscored like 72 to 3 in the last 2 weeks. 72 to 3. This is the Patriots team. Bill Belichick, the greatest coach in NFL history. I think you're finding out now that he is a really good coach, but when you've got a quarterback like Brady, and I hate to, y'all know I'm not a Brady fan, but what have they done since Brady's left? And look what Brady did after he left. Now, Facebook user, I'm reading this. He had been in the league since my dad was in diapers, and they need to switch up the quarterback to see what happens. I don't know who that is, but you want to identify yourself. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They do that last week with if you're talking about Mac Jones, did they do that last week with the Bailey Zapp guy? Didn't they actually switch him up for a little while and nothing really changed? I don't think. I think it's just. I think it's a dead issue in Jaden Medford. What's up, Jaden? Um, I think it's just. I think it's just a done deal in New England right now. You don't have a quarterback. Mac Jones looked like that first year he looked okay, and they even blamed his blamed him getting worse last year on the fact that their offensive coordinator was gone. They bring back that offensive coordinator, and he's doing worse. I think it's just they suck. Honestly, um, Who else we got up here? Miami all over the Giants. The Giants did score 16 points this week, which was good. But Daniel Jones gets hurt late in the game. Who was the quarterback? Who was the quarterback that came in for Daniel Jones and everybody was saying, we found our quarterback? Who is it? No. It doesn't say. Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor comes in and goes 9 of 12 for 86 yards. But, I mean, you just listen, guys, and I've said this so many times, and I call it the Joe Flacco effect. Joe Flacco had one of the best playoff runs a NFL quarterback ever had in his contract year. They win the Super Bowl. He has a really good year and a great playoff run. They give him this lucrative contract, and guess what happens? He plays terrible the rest of his career. He is nowhere near the caliber of quarterback he was before he got that contract. And I said it before the season started. Does Daniel Jones go through that same issue? It's something about, I guess, that mindset when you're going in that contract year, you want to prove something to everybody. Like, I'm gonna prove that I'm worthy of getting a new contract. And not all quarterbacks do it, but there are some quarterbacks that do it. I mean, and he gets paid what? 4 years, $160 million contract extension in the offseason. And you're gonna tell me that's the same quarterback that played for you last year? No, it's not. Joe Flacco effect. So Carolina, the Panthers, what can you say about the Panthers? And the Lions are playing really good football right now. St. Brown out today. That didn't slow them down any. They get the win 42-24. Who else we got here? Houston and Atlanta. Houston plays their butt off against Pittsburgh last week and then comes out and lays an egg this week against Atlanta. They made Atlanta look really good, 21-19. Tennessee loses to Indy 23-16. All right. Indianapolis, Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to look up. I think he had I want to look up his stats right quick. So bear with me, guys. He just gets this big contract extension this past week. And you've got a guy sitting back there in Moss who has been playing his butt off as a backup. I mean, they haven't missed a beat with this guy out there. So Zach Moss, 23 carries, 165 yards, 2 TDs. Longest run was 56 yards. Jonathan Taylor, 6 carries, 18 yards. Longest carry was 5 yards. He averaged 3 yards a carry. Zach Moss averaged 7.2 yards a carry. So what does that tell you right there, guys? Yeah, I know he hasn't played all. This is his first game, but still, that's crazy that Moss is a backup. It's outperforming him as bad as he is. But they get the win 23-16 to 3-2, which is surprising to me. Gardner Minshew has to step in again today. Does a pretty good job. 11 of 14, 155 yards. Didn't throw a touchdown, but didn't turn the ball over either. So let's see who else that we got up here. Cincinnati, you reckon Jamar Chase will ask for a trade anytime soon? I think he had 15 catches for 192 yards, 3 touchdowns. Looks like the Bengals might be back on track. They're playing Arizona. I mean, Arizona's overachieved a lot this year. Ask Dallas fans about that. But 34-20, and Josh Dobbs throws a pick six right down there in his own end zone, which, I hate it for Josh Dobbs. He was doing a good job. Looks like Kyler Murray. A lot of talk about Kyler Murray maybe done in Arizona already. I mean, they're talking about moving on from him. And you see the 49ers Cowboys game started behind us. Looks like San Francisco got the ball first. The Dallas, who you guys got? Who you guys got, Dallas or the 49ers? I'm going 49ers in this one. That defense is mighty. And then you got Christian McCaffrey. I think that's going to be the key right there. So the Rams lose to the Eagles 23-14. That was a tight game for a while, but the Rams just couldn't pull it out. Look at the Chiefs and Vikings. I've said over the year, the NFL has this habit of favoring teams that get them ratings. Patriots were one for a long time. And now it looks like the Chiefs will be the next one, because I'm going to tell you guys, whatever you want to say about that interference call that was waved off at the end of the game on 4th down for that went against the Chiefs, should have been a pass interference. I know they said it was uncatchable. Well, it was uncatchable because the guy was getting pulled. And plus, you got the Kansas City defender taking his helmet off on the field. That should have been a 15-yard penalty. Guess what? TJ Watt got that for taking his helmet off after a change of possession when he sacked the quarterback. We sacked Lamar Jackson today to seal the deal. So no different there. It should have been a 15-yard penalty. That should have been pass interference. The Chiefs got by with one today. I'll say that to anybody. Come at me. If you don't agree with me, come at me and argue with me, and I'll tell you why. Who else? So the Jets in their 3-game losing streak get a win over Denver 31-21. When are we going to start talking about Russell Wilson again? When are we going to start talking about his struggles? Ooh. So, yeah, now we got Dallas and San Francisco, but let's talk about the Steelers versus the Ravens. Going into this game, I had you're always going to have a pretty physical game, and it's usually a tight game with Steelers and Ravens. But it starts off really bad for Pittsburgh. They go down 10-0 early in the second quarter. And but after that, Pittsburgh's defense shuts down Lamar. There was and let me read y'all this. What Lamar said after the game. Lamar said they lost the game. Pittsburgh didn't win it. He said, "I believe so. We didn't want to, but we had little mishaps. We're right there. We had the Steelers beat. On offense, we had to find our groove. We didn't find it. The defense played a great game, kept stopping, kept giving us opportunities. We've just got to do what we do to finish drives." When do you finish drives, Lamar? When do you finish drives? Especially when in the crunch time when the game's on the line. When do you finish a drive? I mean, you're one as a starter. I think you're 1-3 versus Pittsburgh. You've been sacked 20 times. 4 touchdowns to 7 interceptions against Pittsburgh. So let's not talk about. Let's see. He gave the receivers a hard time because they dropped some passes. Yes, they dropped some passes. That happens in a game. There's a lot of things that happen in a game. Injuries happen in a game. Touchdown, San Francisco. But let's not talk about the terrible pass you threw after Pittsburgh turned the ball over, and you were right down there in the red zone, 3rd and goal from the 7, I think, and you throw a terrible, terrible pass that Joey Porter Jr. intercepts and gives Pittsburgh the ball back. Let's not talk about the fumble And what is this crap with you? It looked like a cat trying to paw at the ball from T.J. Watt instead of trying to tackle him. Why don't you try to tackle him? He could have broke that for a touchdown, and it really would have been over then. You Ravens guys, y'all paid this guy an absurd amount of money for the same crap you've got game after game after game since he's been in the league. Yeah, he can light up the scoreboard. He can do this. But crunch time, games on the line, pressure. I saw 10 game winning drives. Out of how many? What did he do in the playoffs? What's he done in the playoffs? He's choked. He chokes every year. He's got one playoff win. One. But yet you guys in the media and you guys that are Ravens fan want to talk about how great he is. He was ready to leave y'all. He turned his back on y'all last year. He could have played in the playoffs. Could have played. He decided, I'm gonna stay out and then prove a point to them. And y'all played better football when Huntley was a quarterback, in my opinion. It wasn't all about we got to make Lamar look good. We got to make Lamar look good. Huntley made his mistakes, and he doesn't set the world on fire, but he can get it. He got the ball down the field just like Lamar would. In my opinion, I've said one time, if I was a Ravens fan, I'd rather have Huntley in there. But turns the ball over, gets sacked, turns the ball over. Yeah. And then 4th and 7, T.J. Watt sacks him again. T.J. Watt, you gotta say it. This guy is a beast. I mean, if you haven't figured it out by now, we've all heard over the year. Aaron Donald, we've heard about. We're hearing Michael Parsons. We're hearing about, what's his name? Myles Garrett. I'll take T.J. Watt any day over any of those guys. Michael Parsons, yeah. Aaron Donald. Myles Garrett, I don't see what the big deal is about. His biggest claim to fame is ripping a Steelers quarterback's helmet off and trying to beat him with it. He hadn't showed me that much. He doesn't hurt us in games when we play him. So I don't see what the big deal is with Myles Garrett. But yeah. Here's Lamar's stats there. 22 of 38 for 236 yards, no touchdowns, and he threw that pick. Then he fumbled the ball away. Team Niners. Who are you, Facebook user? Team Niners. It's not showing who you are, so I can't tell who it is. So Team Niners. Niners up now, 7-0. What does Dak do? You remember the last time they played, the last play of the game, Ezekiel Elliott at center, he gets crushed. And whatever that play call was, it didn't work. Let's see what Dak still with. Well, there you got kickoff there. But yeah. All right, let's talk about this. Miami Hurricanes, like my guys on my football team say, what happened? Probably the dumbest play call I've ever seen in the history of coaching. You got the ball, you're up by 3. 40 seconds left. Clock is running. All you've got to do is kneel the ball. Why do you run the ball and then fumble? 2 plays later, Georgia Tech throws a touchdown pass to win the game. So there goes your undefeated season, Miami Hurricanes. At Miami, I saw something of flying on the field at the Georgia Tech player. And I'm not condoning ever throwing anything on the field by any means at all. But shouldn't you have been throwing something at your coach? Because he handed Georgia Tech that game. There's no doubt about it. He handed Georgia Tech that game. He loses the game. He loses the game for them. So, I mean, what do you say? I've seen a situation like that once. Actually, I coached against a situation like that before, where I thought the game was over. I had no chance, and instead of kneeling, somebody wanted to run. It was a wet night, and the ball popped loose right into one of my guys' hands. He took it in for a touchdown. I mean, hold up, guys. All right, guys, I gotta go. I'll see you guys next time